Hello, everyone. It is Digital Coconut, and I am back with yet another episode of Jurassic World Evolution. I am on my second island, Isla Muerta, which you would know if you had watched the previous video in my series. And I have already started making changes to the park that I'm excited about and wanted to explain to you guys. So I started off, and we basically had, I'll scroll over a bit, we had basically this pen, two human creation centers, and a couple of support buildings, including an ACU and Ranger, and that's all I had. And so I needed to build out additional stuff, and so the island starts you with some money. I felt like I could use some more, so I got rid of this human creation lab over here. Excuse me. And what happens is if I need a carnivore, I'll hatch him here and have him tranquilized and transported over. I then created a fossil center in the expedition center here. Which the interesting thing is, when you start this island, they don't give you all of those things, and you can't borrow those buildings from the previous islands, so you have to build them if you want to go on expeditions and create fossils and do research. So I had to put all of these buildings out on the map. So I did all of that, and in addition, because I know this island gets quite a bit of weather, in fact, I've already had my first tropical storm before I started recording for you guys. I went ahead and added 3 storm defense stations, one here, and you can see how much area they protect when you click on them, and one over here by the human creation labs and the dinosaurs. That way, if we get a bad storm, I might have an issue of fixing fences, but at least it won't knock out my creation lab, and I'll still be able to create and maintain my dinosaurs. Okay, so we have got some fossils. One of the missions that I just accepted, guys, was creating an Ankylosaurus with aggressive instincts. So I have already researched aggressive instincts 1, which is what they want on the mission. As you can see, I don't get number 2 until I get 3 research centers, which means I'll have to get to the 3rd island, and that's kind of how that works. But I'll take you through some of the contracts that I accepted already on this island. One of the things that I figured out, I'm getting a little bit smarter as I play the game, is you should go in immediately when you get to a new island and start accepting contracts and looking and accepting. Because one of the contracts that I had completed was to create 4 dinosaurs. Well, I wish I had selected that right off the bat, because I had already created 2 by the time I found that contract. So I had to create 4 more to get that contract, because it starts the clock when you accept the contract and then start creating dinosaurs. And I think it was something like $125,000. So excuse me, it really does make sense to select your contracts up front. This one with the Ankylosaurus is called GMO, or genetic modification, I guess. And it's good for science, but bad for entertainment and bad for security. So you really have to pay attention to how that affects your factions, because you got to keep them all happy or they can sabotage you, I've read. So the good news is the money one that I'm working to get to 100,000 is good for all 3. And the creating the 4 dinosaurs that I've already completed is good for all 3. So in general, even if I take one that's bad for some interpretation and good for others, I'm still pretty well balanced here so far. So that's good. I'm up to $56,000 profit per minute, and that's basically from creating, I think I've got 5 herbivores, 3 Struthiomimus and 2 Edmontosaurus, and a Ceratosaurus. The reason I created 2 Edmontosaurus is because I had a mission to photograph 2 Edmontosaurus, and it was something like $300,000, I believe, or some really rich contract. So I went ahead and did that one. And another thing that I've noticed is when you have these carnivores, or at least a Ceratosaurus, you have to create a really big pen. So this pen over here was the same size as this one, and it had regular fencing. I added electrical fencing, and I made it about twice as big. And what that does is it keeps him happy. So if you go over here, this guy's happy now. When I first started, I created the Ceratosaurus and put him in a smaller pen. He kept breaking out and kept breaking out. And I had to put people in the shelter, and my profit was plummeting, and I spent a bunch of time rounding up, and I'm thinking, okay, forget this. So I just put him in a bigger pen, and he's happy so far. So that's where I'm at, guys.
I know you're busy, but this opportunity is just
okay, so they want me to get carnivore fossils, and I'm going to see. I always accept the contract. It doesn't matter if you complete it. It looks like that's going to be positive for science and negative to entertainment and security, just like the GMO one. So I got to be careful how many of those. that I complete. And I think you can only have 2 or 3 contracts running at a time. So if I go to a new one, it's going to say my limit is reached. It's another thing that I figured out in the game. So really, I'm going to go ahead and continue my Ankylosaurus research. Oh, did I not deploy a team? I don't think I deployed a team. So I have exhausted the Ankylosaurus and the Corythosaurus DNA in the Scallard Formation, and the only other place to get Ankylosaurus is down here at Hell Creek. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm probably still going to get Triceratops and Dracorex, but I probably can start selling a lot of that. I've got quite a bit. I still have this other dig site over here in Europe, Portugal, for Ceratosaurus, or Serratosaurus, if you will. And then I have some over here in Asia. The Yuliangzi Formation for the Crichtonsaurus. The Irondebasu Formation for the Velociraptor, which I've already started. I already have some Velociraptor DNA. The Zilujing Formation, which has Dilophosaurus, Huangosaurus, and Chungkingosaurus. And the Dilophosaurus in the lower Lufang. And I don't think I've opened up any other potential dig sites now. So I think those are the ones. So I'm just going to keep working on my Ankylosaurus. And I'm just going to let the money accrue. I'm not going to rush into building a whole bunch of other buildings. I'm making $56,000 a minute. When I release Ankylosaurus, that should go up. And so I may, well, I'm actually at 86,000 here. When I release Ankylosaurus, that may put me at 100. And it'll solve this and it'll solve this. So that'll be 2 missions completed. Obtain carnivore fossils, I'll do here in a minute after I do the Ankylosaurus. So I'll complete these 2. I'll have this one going, because once I create an Ankylosaurus, I'll immediately start looking for more carnivores. I think I'm going to go back to the Velociraptor so I can get a Velociraptor running around in my carnivore pen and see how he does with the Ceratosaurus and see if they play nicely. I'm learning how to combine different creatures in pens and how they play nicely. And then I'll be able to pick up 2 more missions. And these I'll try to make the other factions happy as well. That way I'll have all happy, joy factions, and I'll have no sabotage. So I think I've got this island running pretty darn well. I'm almost back at $1 million after having almost no money to start after I get all of these buildings built. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you guys. I had researched heavy fences. And I think, yes, this is the heavy steel fence. Now, I haven't built anything here yet with that, but I think I'm going to put it around the edge because I've got all of this light electrified fence, but I don't know if it's going to hold in both the Ceratosaurus and the Velociraptors. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to expand this fence out a little bit, probably on the bottom side. I've got all this room down here. What I might do is bring it really down here and just give it all the extra room in the world. You know, I've got it down here. I might kind of bring it around to the edges of the property, you know, and bring it all the way up and do a heavy fence. Now, that heavy fence is quite expensive, so, you know, it's $1,760 just to put anything down, whereas $800 for electrified. So the heavy metal fence is about twice as much as the electrified light fence. And yeah, and about twice as much as a regular light steel fence. So that's quite a bit more, but I know for sure I'm going to have it. I've got $1 million. So I'm going to go ahead and do that fence. I might do that now while I'm researching. Let's see how much time I have on my expedition. It's going to tell me less than a minute remains. Oh, it's returning. Good. So I have fossils now. We'll see if we got an Ankylosaurus. I did get an Ankylosaurus, and it's a 3-star, guy, so that means this may put me well up over 70%. We're going to check that meter as it goes. And the awesome thing is, I wanted Ankylosaurus, and I got Ankylosaurus a second time, and this is also a 3-star, so that should put me really, really well up, close and above the 70%. Once I get to 75, 80%, I may think about starting to create that Ankylosaurus. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to go back and go ahead and send out my dig crew again. I want a little bit more Ankylosaurus, so we're going to go back to Hell Creek. We're going to send my guys out. And as I'm doing that, guys, I'm going to put my Ceratosaurus asleep for a moment using the ACU team, and I'm going to build this heavy fence. Now, when you put your Ceratosaurus to sleep, you lose money. at least on a per-minute basis.
Confirming task.
But that's okay. That's no big deal. I accept that that is going to occur. And I can get my fence up real quick. And then I'm just going to let him wake up on his own accord. So we're going to see. Now I think I can get this heavy fence going here. And I'm going to see how far down it'll let me take it. I think that's pretty close to the edge. And guys, we're just going to let that go. Oh, that's 30 grand. That's a lot of money. Yeah, look at my profits just falling off a cliff here as I build this. But I'm really building that big pen that I want for my carnivores. We're going to loop it all the way around here. We're going to loop it all the way up here, guys. I really want to use all of this space. All of this space. We're going to bring it back. Okay, he's not quite sedated yet, so I'm going to let them get him sedated. Come on, buddy. I really need to upgrade my ACU teams. Maybe what I'll do next to get there.
These storms may actually put the dinosaurs at ease, instinctively. Me? Storms make me nervous.
Great. So we got another storm coming in. Last one did not affect me at all. We'll see what happens this one. I've got all my towers up, so we'll see. The only thing that's really vulnerable, guys, is the fence down here. We'll see what happens if this storm knocks out any of my electricity or anything like that. In the meantime, once that Ceratosaurus gets put down, I can start knocking out this wall. In fact, I can start doing that now. We're going to take out this inner wall. And boy, that weather is loud. I'm going to have to talk really loud, guys, to get over the top of it. Alright, I think my Ceratosaurus is probably tranked at this point because the helicopter rode off. So let's take a look at the map. There he is. He's nice and tranked, so I just got to build that last stretch of fence around here. And then what we're going to do, we're going to demolish this interior fence, guys. Let's get down there and start demolishing the interior part of this fence. Alright, we want to demolish, demolish, demolish. We're going to demolish this section and this section. And I think that's all demolished. Let's take a look at the map. Yep, and so all I got to do is just build right around here. I wish I could move that viewing platform, but we'll leave it for now until I get a little bit more money. So we'll go enclosures, fence, heavy steel fence, yep. So we're going to go, we need to scroll in, guys, here so I can make sure that I really do get from here to here. Obstructed. Uh-oh. You know what? I'm going to have to take down the viewing platform. And I'm going to have to rebuild that viewing platform, but that's okay. So we can connect our heavy-duty fence, guys. In the raging storm, we're building the heavy fence for the carnivores. All right, we're going to go here. And we're going to pop you right up here. Obstructed. Oh, you know what? You're going to have to get rid of that. Well, that's okay. We're going to go right here. And where is that gate? Let's scroll in to make sure I get right at the edge of that grate. There we go. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be our heavy fence. Let's take a look at the map. It is all heavy fence. I've got some to demolish right here. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is all heavy here as well. All good. Well, I don't know if that's heavy. I don't think it is. Let me finish the heavy going this way. Yeah, let's scroll in and get rid of the heavy this way. I think I've got some down here, didn't I? I sure do. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to go back to our heavy fence. And we are going to connect, ladies and gentlemen, here to here to here. Boom, there we go. So that should be all of our heavy fence for our carnivores. And I kind of cut that off, edged it a little bit. That's okay. And I got a little fence there. That's going to bug me, so why don't we get rid of that real quick. Now it's this one. We got to get close. When it's under the trees, you really got to get on top of the fence that you want. Let's see if I can scroll around to see that section. There it is right there. All right, we have got it. We are going to scroll out. Let's see if my Ceratosaurus is awake yet. He's not. He'll let him sleep for a little while. Oh, oops. Sorry, guys. That's okay if he sleeps for a little while. Let's look at the profit per minute when he goes down and is sleeping. It drops $40,000 a minute, guys. That is amazing. The other thing I just noticed, we went through our second tropical storm, and with our weather towers, we are all good, baby. We've got no weather issues. So really investing in these weather towers really did do us a bit of good. I wonder if there's a way to revive this dinosaur. So we're going to go to our ACU helicopter. We're going to add a task, and we're going to say, Mr. Dinosaur, can we revive you? Where are you, Mr. Serratosaurus? Tell you what, I'm going to go look at that map just so I can get a quick peek as to where he is. He's right there on the tree, so we're going to scroll right there. And I don't know if once tranked you can wake him up, but I sure as heck am going to try. So I can get my $50,000 back. Nope, tranquilize only. Let's see if my ranger team will do it. Ranger team 2? Are you alive? Nope, it wants to resupply the bait feeder, medicate, reboot, sabotage, repair broken billing. Here, dinosaur. No, I can't, but that's okay. What I'll go ahead and do is use you to fill up my feeders. Alright, guys, I'm just going to have to wait till that guy wakes up, and my profits are going to be a little low per minute until that time. But that's okay. We're going to make it. I believe we have some fossils. Well, I'm at 20,000, so it's still climbing a little bit. Alright, let's see if we got Ankylosaurus fossils this time. We are continuing to get Ankylosauruses perfect. So we got up to 76% on those last round of fossils. And we got 2 Ankylosaurus. Again, the game knows what I need, and I'm getting what I need, and I'm extracting that DNA. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That should put us well up over 80. We've already got the research done, ladies and gentlemen, on the trait that I needed. Let's look and see what else we can do. We can medicate for the Campylobacteria. I'm going to go ahead and do that because these bacterium and these sicknesses tend to sneak up on you, and I don't want my dinosaurs to die, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And look, guys, I've got another viewing attraction. I can get a viewing platform, spot dinosaurs at great distances. I'm really going to need this with this gigantic carnivore paddock that I have built so that they can see them running everywhere, but it's $2 million. $2 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. I don't quite have that, so we're going to move on. I've got something I can do on the transport. I can research for $2 million. Monorail, okay, another big spend item. Let's see what I can do. The Hammond Creation Lab, $300,000 gets me a better success rate, 20% increase in viability, and incubation speed, 20%. I've got power upgrades if I want to do those. I've got ranger upgrades. I've got asset containment unit. Oh, my goodness. $300,000 to the reload speed when they're trying to tag the dinosaurs. I can go up to round 2 of all my power. I don't think I'm really out of power just yet. I'm thinking that ACU speed may be the one I want. Or the Hammond Creation Lab. That would be a really good one. Let's go ahead and send my team out on an expedition. I think I've got enough Ankylosaurus to create one. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go over here and get Velociraptor, because that's basically what they wanted on my mission. We'll go back to my missions. My contract, discovering DNA. Yes, they wanted 2 carnivore fossils. So there we go. Okay, my research is complete already. So I got the bacteria one. Now what should I do, guys? I've got lots of genetic research I want to get into, but I really feel like I should go into operations first. No, that's an expensive item. For monorail, I might do that on the next island. I'm thinking speeding up and increasing the success rate of the Hammond Creation Lab would save me a lot of money. It would save me from losing a dinosaur. It may be worth that $300,000, especially if I'm building a $500,000 dinosaur. My power would be really great, the AC containment unit speed, and the speed of my rangers. I think those are kind of okay, to be honest with you. They would help. I don't know if it's exactly needed. Let's take a look at my power station. This one's cranked full, 60 to 0. This one I've still got 33 unused power, guys. I don't think I really need to upgrade my power at this time. Let's see if my dinosaur is awake now, and I'm getting back to my... See, he's still sleeping, and that's leaving me at $51,000 a minute. You know, But it's better to build the fence that way, but the drawback to that is your dinosaur is down. Really need to get that Velociraptor out and for my Ceratosaurus to wake up. Let's see what it would cost me for the various dinosaurs to see if I want to do the upgrades on the Hammond Creation Lab. This guy's 150, this guy's 230, that guy's 30, that guy's 170, Ceratosaurus 550, Ankylosaurus 321, the Corythosaurus 145. I'm kind of thinking he's 80%. You know, I almost want to go back and get more DNA, but it, you know, but he's 321, and when I start getting to the carnivores, Velociraptor is going to be quite a bit too. I'm almost thinking, guys, I should put the money into... I don't think I need more power. I don't think I need speed of reloading in my Ranger and my ACU teams. I really think the Hammond Creation Lab of where it's going to be. So I think we're going to do the building upgrades. The speed is there, but I want the success rate. That's where I'm going to go next. And maybe I'll do the speed. See, I'm not really creating dinosaurs that fast. You don't need a bunch of dinosaurs to complete these early islands. So I don't know about the speed. I might get there eventually. I'm kind of thinking I'll go reload speed on the ACU unit, and I'll go reload speed on the Ranger Station, and then I may go the other Hammond Creation, and then I may do these power upgrades. I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. Let's see where I am on my expedition. Less than a minute remaining from China, the Iran Debasu Formation, to get my Velociraptor DNA. We'll give that a moment. Hopefully we'll get some good DNA and we'll get that Velociraptor that much closer to hatching. I'll do the Ankylosaurus next and then the Velociraptor. Another thing I noticed, guys, is on this island there's a lot less story mode, a lot less talking over by the characters, which is really nice. I kind of feel like they're still leading you down the primrose path. You still have to build things in a certain order, but you can customize just a little bit on this second island and not quite as much talking from these guys. All right, fossils are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go get those fossils. Velociraptor.
And I won't forget it.
And that gives me 125,000 on the contract, guys. Although it did reduce the satisfaction of the entertainment and security divisions, we really have to be careful with that. I'm going to go back in Ankylosaurus. I want to get him closer to 90, guys. And I want a really high success rate because they cost so much money. So let's go back to the Ankylosaurus. I believe it was here at Hill Creek. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to Hill Creek. I'm going to get Ankylosaurus back before I do Velociraptor. Then I'll go Velociraptor once I get closer to 90 in Ankylosaurus. Guys, this is really disturbing me, to be honest with you. My Ceratosaurus has not woken up. So what I may have to do is transport him. I wonder if this is a bug in the game. If you have to transport your sedated dinosaur to get him to wake up, because he's been sedated for a while. So I'm just going to move him and see if that pops him up. And if that's true, then that should be a bug in the game. Because one would think when you sedate him, he automatically wakes up after so much amount of time, whatever that amount of time is. And if they're not doing that and they're wanting you to transport to wake up your dinosaur, that's a little odd, I would think. That somehow the transporting the dinosaur wakes him up. But I wonder if that's what it is. So as we see him set down, just taking him from here to here on the screen, in the paddock, we really want to see, does that wake him up? And as we're waiting for them to get him loaded up, we're going to go down here, guys, and take a look at this fence. You know, honestly, it doesn't look a whole lot different, this heavy-duty steel fence, from the light-duty. Huh. I mean, it looks a little beefier. It's got heavier little pylon thingies. If you can see, let me scroll in here.
Asset being transported.
Yeah, you can see that these are really thin cross members and these are thick cross members. Let's see if that makes a difference for the Ceratosaur. All right, they've got the smoke bombs down. They're dropping my Ceratosaurus. Let's see if that wakes him up. I'm going to go ahead and go to map view. Yeah, see, it looks like he's already woken up. He doesn't have the little tranquilize symbol on him. Like when you transport them, all of a sudden they just da-ding, you know, and and, 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 he's awake. Let's see. He's not too comfortable now while he's being transported. His comfort went up when they... Yeah, he's roaming. That's exactly it. It's a bug in the game, guys. All right, all right. I was wondering why in the previous map I had to sell one of my dinosaurs because when I tranquilized them, they never woke up. They were raging and broken the fence but hadn't got outside the fence, so I just tranked them and left them inside the fence. And then they never woke up because I didn't have to transport them. Because by the time they broke through the fence, I had got my ACU team over there to sedate them. So that's a neat little lesson learned, guys. If you sedate a dinosaur, you got to transport to wake him up. Okay, I didn't know that. So let's go back to our profit per minute. All right, guys, I'm at 29, but honestly, I should be quite a bit more. Well, my income is 59,000. Okay, I'm guessing the contract wants me to get to 100,000 income, not necessarily profit. So that's even better. That means I don't have to get to $100,000 profit, but now I'm back up to 44 and I'm at 74. So I'm close to that 100 grand. I don't know if I'll make it on this episode. We're already at 25 minutes, guys. But I think we've done a lot here. Let's recap. I've got 3 storm centers up protecting the majority of my island. I have got my expedition, my fossil, and my research center running. I have quite a few herbivores. Let's count them. I believe it was 5. It was 2 Edmontosaurus and 3 Struthiomimus. I've expanded with a heavy fence for my Ceratosaurus, which makes him very happy. I've got all the additional power running that I need. I've got several upgrades running, including a virus upgrade and building upgrades and Hammond Creation Center updates. I'm well on my way, guys, to getting that Ankylosaurus ready to hatch and released into the herbivore pen. And we'll see if that means that I need a heavy-duty fence. I think it will, because the Ankylosaurus is known as the tank of dinosaurs, and he probably can smash through this light fence very easily. And then I'm also right after that going to create the Velociraptor so that my Ceratosaurus has a friend, and we'll see if they battle in the pen. I think I'll save all of that for next time, guys. I really appreciate you joining me. This has been fun. This is Digital Coconut. Hey, guys, please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter. And if you really like the series, don't forget to visit Patreon and give me just a little bit of donation every month so that I can create more content for you. Until next time, this is Digital Coconut signing off.